warehouse life cycle. Okay, so you can see this, you can take this diagram. So if you see, so we all know, so you have front end systems, right? So where you can get the input. So then the data will get stored in the backend system, so which is your operational database or the flat files. So then you have an ETL tool to do the extraction, transformation, and then load it to the data warehouse. So from the data warehouse, so we can create data marts. Okay, we will see. So there are two different approaches where you can build a data mart. So once you build a data mart, so then you can create data warehouse. Okay, so we'll see on that approaches as well. So once you have the data warehouse or data mart created, so then you can make use of the reporting tools to generate the reports out of it. Okay, so is this clear?
Okay.
Any question?
No. So you will be explaining briefly like later, right? Like regarding the
Yeah,
data
yeah,
mart
yeah,
and
yeah. Yep, 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 yep,
okay.
yep, 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 yep. So just an overflow. It's a logic. It's a logical diagram. So you will see
Yeah.
this one by one. Yep,
Oh,
yep. So to start with, right? So first we need to understand this data warehouse, correct? So we need to first understand this data warehouse. What is a data warehouse? So what is the definition for this data warehouse, correct? So as per so so before we start with this data warehouse, so we'll just see the scientist who discovered this data warehouse concept. Okay, there are two scientists who discovered the data warehouse concept. So one is Bill Limon. Okay, one is Bill Limon, and another one is Ralph Kimball. Okay, another one is Ralph Kimball. So if you want to look for any book with respect to this data warehouse, you can just search based on this users. So you can be able to get a lot of books with respect to the data warehouse. So the data warehousing concepts so were introduced by these two scientists. Okay, so data warehousing concepts were introduced by these two scientists.
okay.
So as per them, okay, as per them, so there is a definition, right? So as per them, the definition for this data warehouse is, so data warehouse contains, so they are saying that, so the data warehouse, it's a book definition, okay? So data warehouse contains subject-oriented, 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 integrated, time variant, time variant, and non-volatile data, non-volatile data for non-volatile data for storing non-volatile historical data for data analytics. Okay, so we'll see this one by one. Okay, so what is subject oriented? So can you tell me what is subject oriented?
Mm, maybe something related to the
If you take a
GNP.
bank, if you take a bank, so within the bank, so what are all the different line of business specific? So it's more of a line of business. So subject oriented, it's more of line of business specific. Line of business or the subject specific with respect to the bank. So if you take a bank, so what are all the different subject areas that we can have within a bank?
Like the account transfers or in like you're saying
Yeah, yeah,
account
that's right.
opening.
So it's more of, yeah, account opening process that you have, right? So that will come under retail banking, right? So retail banking. Then you have corporate banking, right? So
Banking.
corporate
Okay.
banking. So you have cards, right? So you have cards. So then you have
Loans. Yeah.
loans. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Loans. Different departments that you have, right? So these are all the subject oriented. So we can store all these subject oriented information. We can store it as subject oriented information into the data warehouse. So and when we say integrated, so what do you mean by integrated?
No idea.
Okay, so integrated is known, it's known as, so it's combined from, data is combined from multiple sources. Multiple sources. When I say multiple sources, it is a file or database, right? So we have the file-based system as well as we have database-based system in different formats to one standard format. Okay, that is integrated. So now next one is time variant. So what do you mean by time variant?
Might be like any function of time like between.
We can get the data. So if I want to get 3 months of data, yes. 6 months of data, yes, we can get it from data warehouse. So irrespective of time. So we can get the data from the data warehouse. Okay, so irrespective of time, we can get the data from data warehouse. So when I say irrespective of the time, so we can get 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, or we can store up to 7 years of data in data warehouse. Okay, we can store up to 7 years of data from data warehouse. Okay, so what is meant by
Okay.
non-volatile?
This is like which is not changed.
Yeah, it is a permanent storage.
Hmm.
So it is more like, so we will not delete anything from this data warehouse. Okay, so we'll just keep the historical data. So when we say keep the historical data, so the historical data is very much required, right? So say for example, if the customer is moved from one location to another location, so customer is currently in Chennai and he moved to Bangalore, so we would need the Chennai address as well, right? So customer's Chennai address along with the Bangalore address, along with the current address, we need the historical data. So we can store the historical data up to 7 years in data warehouse. Okay,
Okay.
right. So now the next question that should come to us is, so if you see here, so the source system is an operational database. So we can get the data from the source database, and we are storing it in a data warehouse. Data warehouse is nothing but another database. Do you agree with me? Data warehouse is nothing but another database. It is going to be
Hmm.
another storage system where you're going to store the data. So what is the difference between the source system database and the target system database? Right. So we need to understand the difference between source system database and target system database. So the source system database, so we are calling the source system database as OLTP system versus data warehouse. This is your target system, so which we call it as OLAP, online analytical processing based system. So which we are going to see now. Okay, so we are going to see the differences between the source system database and the target system database. So OLTP versus OLAP. So we will see the differences. So first difference is, so this OLTP system, so I will give the expansion for this. Okay, so online transactional processing. So OLAP, online analytical processing, online analytical processing. Okay, so OLTP, so it is a source system where we get the data. So if it is an OLAP system, so it is an integrated data. It is an integrated data from multiple sources. Do you agree with me? It is an integrated data from multiple sources, right? So where you collect the data from multiple source system and then we are writing it to a data warehouse, right? So this is I would say it is an operational data store. So it is an enterprise wide data store, right? So, and so, but before moving on, so do you have any questions on this differences that I have highlighted?
No, as of now.
Okay. So now we will see with respect to the volume. So which will have the less volume of data and which one will have the huge volume of data?
Okay. Like
Less volume.
OLAP.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Hmm. So you told like we are combining multiple sources in different formats to one format. So we'll be
Mm.
having more space.
Exactly. That's right. So here it will have less volume of data. Perfect. So less volume of data. So here it is a huge volume of data.
Yeah.
So now the next thing is with respect to the modeling. So we will see this modeling. Okay. So here it is entity relationship modeling. What is meant by modeling and why we are doing it, all these things we will see. So I'm just giving a difference in between this OLTP and OLAP. Okay, so it is entity
Okay.
relationship modeling. So and it is in dimensional data modeling. So with respect to the performance, which is better in terms of performance, query performance. The
I
query
think
performance is more of when you are joining between the tables. So when you are combining the data from the database table, so which one will perform better?
OLAP because like. The same reason,
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
guess.
But
I'm not
in
sure.
terms of the data volume, the query performance is related to the data volume. So if the data volume is huge, then there is an impact to the query performance. So here, high query performance here. So here the
Okay.
query performance is less here.
Okay. So,
So it is
can you
related to
explain what is query performance like again?
query performance is nothing but time taken